Hello, welcome to our Form 1 English lesson. I'm your presenter, Yabuti Peter. In today's lesson, we are going to talk about adverbs. And so, by the end of this class, I expect you as a learner, you are supposed to be able to do the following. First, I expect you to be able to define what adverbs are. Secondly, I expect you to be able to identify and understand the different types of adverbs. And lastly, I expect you as a learner, after listening or learning this topic, you should be able to answer any question on adverbs correctly. What are adverbs? Adverbs are words that give more information about either a verb, adjective, or other adverbs, which this simply means that adverbs, they will modify verbs. They can also modify adjective. They also can modify other adverbs. It is important to note that the common adverbs answer the following questions. They answer the question how did the action take place? They also answer the question where. They will tell you where the action took place. And the last question the adverbs will answer is when. They will tell you where or when the action took place. Let us examine the following sentences. He walks quickly. Second sentence, she dances nicely. Third sentence, I will see you soon. In the first sentence, let's first of all identify the verb, and it is clear that in the first sentence the verb is walks. Now the question that you need to ask yourself, how does this person walks? And the answer from the question is quickly. So quickly is our adverb because it is giving more information about the verb walks. The second example, dances. She dances nicely. Dances is our verb. And if you ask yourself, how does this person dance? The answer is nicely, according to the sentence provided. So nicely is our adverb since it is giving more information about the verb dance. How did this person dance? It was nicely. And lastly, the third sentence we have, I will see you soon. Seeing is the verb. Soon, in this particular case, is an adverb. If you ask yourself, when will you see? And the answer from the question is going to be soon. So soon, it is an adverb that is giving more information about the verb see. Let us now examine the different types of adverbs that we have. And as provided in our slide, we have adverbs of manner, adverbs of time, adverbs of place. We also have adverbs of frequency, and lastly we have adverbs of degree. It is important to note that in this lesson I'm not going to talk about all of them. I'll only deal with a few of them. Others will be dealt with in our subsequent lessons. Adverbs of manner. These are adverbs which show us the way in which an action is done. That is, they tell us how something happens or how something is. So in short, these adverbs, they will tell us, they will indicate, they will show us how something happened or how something is done. These adverbs of manner, they answer the question how. So they will tell you how something is done. It is important to note that many of these adverbs of manner are formed from adjectives. And the way they are formed is by adding the suffix ly to the adjective. Note also that not all words that end in ly are adverbs. So you have to be very careful. Let us now examine some examples that we have here. We have an adjective slow. When you add to the suffix ly, you will form an adverb of manner slowly. We also have an adjective bad. When you add the suffix ly, you will form an adverb of manner badly. We also have the adjective safe. When you add the suffix ly, you form the adverb of manner safely. So all these adverbs of manner are formed from adjectives by simply adding the suffix ly. Remember, I have said that not all words that end in ly are adverbs of manner. As we go on, it's also important to note that a few of them end in the suffixes wise, others will end in the suffix ways, while others will end in the suffix words. So it is not a must that they will end in ly. Others will end in wise, others will end in ways, and others will end in words. Let us now examine an example in a sentence. They spoke eloquently. They spoke eloquently. So in this example, spoke is our verb and eloquently is our adverb. If you ask yourself, how did this person speak? And the answer is going to be eloquently. So eloquently is an example of an adverb of manner that tells us how something was done. Speaking, how was it done? Eloquently. Let us now shift our attention to the adverbs of time. So these adverbs of time, they will give us information on when something happened. For adverbs of time, they will tell us when something happened. And obviously, they answer the question when. When did you arrive, for example? Maybe somebody can say now, afterwards, immediately, early. So they will tell us when something happened, when an action that we are talking about happened. They include words such as then, now, afterwards, before, early, immediately, soon, and many more. Let us now examine the examples that we have in the sentence. I will see you soon. The second one, I was not rich then. The last one, Carmen left early for the party. From the first example, if we start with the first example, I will see you soon. If you ask yourself, when will I see you? Then the answer is soon. So obviously, soon is our adverb of time. In the second example, I was not rich then. If you ask yourself, when were you not rich? The answer is going to be then. And that automatically means that then is our adverb of time. Lastly, Carmen left early for the party. If you ask yourself, when did Carmen leave the party? The answer is going to be early, and early is going to be our example of adverb of time. We have a small task here that we can carry out very fast. Use the following words to construct simple sentences. And the words that I want you to use to construct the simple sentences are before, tomorrow, finally, today, and lastly, afterwards. Our next type of adverbs that we want to examine are adverbs of place. And we can begin by saying that these adverbs of place, they are used to indicate where something happens or takes place. So these adverbs of place, they will tell us where the action was happening or where the action was taking place. Automatically, they answer the question where. So it's important to note that they include words such as here, there, near, downstairs, and even indoors, just to mention few examples. Let us examine the following sentences. He has gone overseas. Second example, they live nearby. And the last example, she went inside. Remember, adverbs of place, they tell us where something happens. So from the first example, he has gone overseas. The action there is, or the verb there is going. So if you ask yourself, where did this person go? And from the example that we are given, the answer is overseas, and automatically overseas becomes our adverb of place. The second one, they live nearby. So where do these people live? The answer is nearby. So nearby is an example of adverb of place. And lastly, she went inside. Where did she go? The answer is inside, and that simply means that inside is our adverb of place. So adverb of place, they will tell you where something or an action takes place. The last type of adverb that I want us to examine is what we refer as adverbs of frequency. And these ones, they tell us how often an action takes place. They tell us how often an action takes place, and it is because of that we say they answer the question how often or how rarely. They answer the question how often or how rarely. So we can continue and say that they can be used in different positions in a sentence. That is something that you're supposed to note, that they are mobile. They can be used anywhere, maybe at the beginning of a sentence or even at the end, and the sentence will still make the same meaning, will have the same meaning. They include the words such as always, never, seldom, frequently, normally, rarely, sometimes, and many more. Let us examine examples in sentences. We rarely meet these days. If you ask yourself, how often do we meet? The answer is going to be rarely. And that makes it rarely to be an example of adverb of frequency. The second example, she is forever criticizing him. How often does she criticize him? The answer is forever. So forever is our example of adverb of frequency. And lastly, we normally have our supper at 8 p.m. So if you ask yourself, how often do we have our supper at 8 p.m.? The answer is going to be normally. It is normal. So in this case, normally is an example of adverbs of frequency. I hope that you have learned something, because we have talked about adverbs, where we say that adverbs are words that give more information about either verbs, adjective, or they can modify other adverbs. We have gone ahead and said that we have many different types of adverbs, where we have talked about adverb of place, of time, those of frequency, those of manners. I hope that you have gained something, and I hope that you are going to be on the lookout for our next lesson. Thank you.